Okay, I have started the recording for today's session. Today is July 19th. Let me share my screen. Okay, confirm me, Durga. Are you able to see my screen or not?
Yes, bro.
Nice, very good. So we were discussing about encryption over stored files or objects in an S3 bucket. Okay, till now we have discussed about symmetric, asymmetric. Then after the various types of encryption type and what type of basically key will be used. And today it is almost the enhanced version of that encryption where we are going to see SSE with S3, SSE with KMS. SSE stands for server side encryption. First one option is with S3, then second option is with KMS. Then we have another one, third option, that is dual layer server side encryption. Okay, three options we have in S3, and we are going to see the this thing through a practical. Okay, so first is, let's take a look, server side encryption with Amazon S3 managed keys. Okay, so who is responsible for managing key? I have already told you that, right? When there is encryption and decryption is going to happen, definitely we need a key, right? And the first option what we are looking right now, it is SSE-S3, which means server side encryption with Amazon S3 managed key. So who is responsible for managing the key? Amazon S3 itself is responsible for managing its own key. Okay, let's take a look at the introduction first. AWS S3 handles the encryption and decryption process automatically using AWS managed keys. Okay, so who is basically responsible for managing the key? The AWS itself is responsible for managing the key which will be used for encrypting and decrypting the data of stored in the S3. Okay. Second point, SSE S3 can be enabled as the default encryption method for an S3 bucket. You can do that. You can select SSE S3 as the default option, okay, for encryption method. So what is the default option available in the S3? That is SSE S3. SSE S3 stands for server side encryption, Amazon S3 managed keys. Okay. Why there is a S3? Because those keys will be managed by the Amazon S3. Okay. There are no additional charges for using SSE S3 encryption. See, this is completely free from the AWS they are providing for encrypting your data. The cost is included in the standard S3 pricing for storage and request. Okay. If you are choosing or going with the normal pricing of the S3, that cost, that encryption cost is automatically included there. It's not actually free, but it's very minimal. We can say it is very cheap. Okay, and they have added it with the standard pricing of the S3. When you are going to be get billed for your data which is stored over the S3, then they will this encryption charges are already included there. Okay. Then second point, how it works. Okay, when you upload data to S3, Amazon automatically encrypts it using AES 256, right? That thing we also have discussed in our previous classes. AES 128, AES 192, AES 256. 256 is the latest and topmost algorithm for encryption. So Amazon S3 using which algorithm? AES 256. Okay. Upon retrieval, S3 decrypts the data before returning it. So what will happen when you try to retrieve the thing? S3 is going to decrypt by itself. Okay, we have already know that encryption will be happened before uploading the data into the S3, and decrypt will be happened before downloading, right? So that's the normal process which is exactly happening there. Okay, so what are the drawbacks? Okay, before moving into drawbacks, let's get into the AWS account and let's have a look at the process or this thing. Let me log into AWS. I'm logging in as a root user. I need to put the MFA. Okay, so we have successfully logged into my AWS account. Here you can say Cloud Master main ops, and let's get into S3. Okay, let's get into any of the bucket. Uh, let's check this one, bucket policy 01. These things we have there. If I get into properties, we know that under the properties tab we can find out the encryption. Okay, see, default encryption, what it is saying, default encryption is server side encryption with Amazon S3 managed keys. Okay, these keys are not created by us, these keys are not managed by us. Amazon has created itself these keys for encrypting the data which will be stored within this object. Okay, and if you want to look into more, let's get into edit. And when I clicked on the edit option, you can see server side encryption with Amazon S3 option is enabled. But after that, there are two other options as well available. Okay, and you can see we have the option to disable the key as well. If you want, you can disable it from here. Okay, but let's try to implement this whole thing from the scratch. Okay, what I'll do, I'll create a bucket for encryption, and there I'll show you the encryption process. Let's say so encrypt bucket 01, and here you can see by default encryption process is already chosen as server side encryption with S3 SSE-S3, and that is enabled. Okay, and if I go ahead and create um these two options we are going to discuss. Okay, don't worry, these two options we will just check after this Amazon S3. And when I'll create bucket got created and get into the properties tab, there you can see, see, default encryption is there, and encryption type is server side encryption with Amazon S3 managed keys, SSE S3. Okay, bucket key is enabled. What it is saying, when KMS encryption is used to encrypt new objects in this bucket, the bucket key reduces encryption cost, okay, by lowering calls to AWS KMS. Okay, this makes sense. So what it is saying, whenever there will be a key is going to use, whether it is AWS managed or whether it is customer managed, that means created and managed by the customer. Okay, definitely you have to do that in another resource which is AWS KMS. Okay, this is a key management service provided by AWS, where you can manage, that means create, destroy, upgrade, modify, anything you can do in that dashboard. We are going to just look into that shortly. Okay, but before that, let's get back to our discussion. So you saw where we can enable S3, and by default that was enabled. So it's in like every time you have to do that. Okay, but there is disable option which is not recommended. Let's take a look at the limitations or drawback. What are the losses we are going to have there if we go with the AWS S3, sorry, SSE S3? Limited key management flexibility, right? This makes sense. Why? Because this is managed by AWS, so you don't have a control over the key. Whenever AWS is going to manage or whenever if you need any modification or any upgradation, AWS is going to do that. You are not, you can do that from your end. So that thing is explained here. With SSE S3, you don't have control over the encryption keys, right? Because why? Because this is AWS managed. AWS manages the keys, which means you cannot rotate, okay, disable and revoke keys manually. Okay, these are the operations we usually used to have over a key. Rotate, right, disable and revoke. Okay. Then third point is if you require custom key management policies, SSE S3 may not be suitable. Okay, if you want custom management policies, okay, that means you want specific policies or specific permission in that key as per your need, then SSE S3 is not an ideal process. Then you have to go with other options which are available in the S3 bucket. Okay. Lack of detailed, second point we are discussing now. Lack of detailed audit logs. Okay. For audit, definitely we need logs. So there will be lack. How? Let's see. While SSE S3 provides a basic encryption, it does not offer detailed logging and auditing capabilities. So S3 offers, SSE S3 offers a basic encryption. You can't audit and process the logging both by this SSE S3. It's a huge drawback from enterprise level. Okay, because I have already told you in every enterprise auditing and logging is an auditing and compliance maintenance is the most important thing, and that is not possible if you have enabled SSE S3. If you need to track key usage, why that is not possible? Because you cannot track who is using that key, right? So that's why here it is saying if you need to track key usage and access patterns, SSC S3 might not meet your compliance requirements. Okay, why? Because it is AWS managed. You don't have any control over that key. So how do you know who is using that key, right? You won't be able to know that. You can find out that thing. Some regulatory standards require strict control over encryption keys, okay, including the ability to manage, audit, and rotate keys. SSE S3 may not fulfill such requirements, right? So basically, from audit and compliance perspective, this is not an ideal approach. If your company has higher level of audit and compliance they are targeting, then if you are going with the SSE S3, then definitely that is going to fail. Okay, so what other option we have? If SSE S3 not an ideal option, then what other option we have? Let's take a look at the third point. No customer managed key integration. Okay, if you have not integrated any customer managed key, SSE S3 does not integrate with AWS KMS or allow for customer provided key. So what basically here it is trying to explain you, even though you have encrypted your existing bucket with the SSE S3, the key is managed by AWS. You won't be able to find out that key in the AWS KMS dashboard. It will be not visible. That's why it just said na, you won't be able to audit or you won't be able to find out who is using that key, right? Since it is not visible there, then how you find out? Then compatibility and certain features. Some advanced S3 features or third-party tools might have limited capability with SSE S3. It's essential to verify that all required tools and services support SSE S3 encryption. Okay, so basically we can say this is a bare minimum encryption process. If you are not opting any encryption method, then it is going to apply this encryption method by itself. Okay, but here comes the twist or the plot, which I have already told you that all organizations need to be meet their compliance requirements, need to have proper audit process. So as per here our slide, we found out that SSE S3 is not an ideal approach in that during that cases, right? So then what option another we have, that is SSE KMS. Okay, one last point. The fourth one is use case. where we basically use ideal for users who want basic encryption, right? I just told you. For basic and bare minimum requirement fulfillment, managing encryption keys themselves. Let's move into the second point. What else we have if that is not an ideal option for compliance and audit point of view? Then comes SSE-KMS. Okay, SSE-KMS means server side encryption. Okay, this encryption will be applied on the S3, but who is responsible for managing the key? The key will be managed in the AWS KMS. Okay, any doubt, Durga, yet over AWS, sorry, SSE S3?
No, no, sir.
All good there?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Now let's move into the second key type, which is AWS Key Management Service. Okay. Okay. So before moving into SSE KMS, in our slide we have a intro about the what is AWS KMS. Okay. Let's take a look at that first because we are going to now deal with the AWS KMS as well. This is another one resource in AWS, just like S3, and this is the key management service. Okay. So, introduction. AWS KMS is a managed service that makes it easy for you to create and control the encryption keys used to encrypt your data. Makes sense? Simple line, single thing. Okay, what it is saying? This is a single dashboard where we will be managing our keys. Those keys you will be used to encrypt or decrypt our data. Okay, it integrates with other AWS services and allows you to define granular permissions for who can use your keys. Okay, so basically, you are going to integrate this KMS key with other services. Other services means you may be a little bit confused because till now we are discussing only about S3. So, is there any other service with whom we are going to integrate these all things? Yes, definitely. We are going to integrate them with those other things. And those are here are the list. It can be integrated with the Amazon S3, RDS, EBS, and EFS. Once you have, because all these options na, are storing part. These all four options used to store data. So wherever you are storing your data, definitely you need to encrypt that thing. Okay. Now let's get into
What
the
is the
introduction of the SSE KMS.
so
See the points from here
so
from SSE
actually
KMS.
what is
First,
the EBS?
yeah, Durga, you're saying
What is the EBS and EFS
what is
in
EBS
the
and
four?
EFS?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so EBS is elastic block storage. Okay, this is also a type of storage like S3, but that is pretty fast. Okay, you can think
So the
about EBS like your SSD. You know SSD? Right now, in
yes,
every computer or every laptop, we are using SSD,
yes,
right?
yes, yes,
But
yes, yes.
previously, we used to have only HDD type, which is very slow, right? So you can compare like S3 is HDD type and EBS is SSD type. And
Once
EBS is the place
we
where we
can
can
store.
only upload our operating system. Okay,
Okay.
that is the
Once
importance of
the
EBS. Hmm.
data storage in this side, na?
What?
Unstructured
Can
data.
you repeat?
EBS in the block storage, there we can store in the unstructured data, no?
Yeah, we can store there too in EBS as well. That is very
Oh,
fast.
okay.
Excuse me. And EFS is elastic file storage. You might have heard about the NFS, right? Network file system you
NFC, yes,
usually
yes.
used to have in organization. So that's a common sharing place where you can, if you want to share file with someone else, so you can upload your file there so that someone else can access that file from there, right? So it is something like that, EFS, which is the NFS service available in the cloud. Okay. So anything else you want to ask, or should I move?
No, no.
Okay.
Okay, move,
So
continue.
let's take a look at the SSE KMS. Okay. First point, what it is saying, server side encryption with AWS Key Management Service is a powerful method to protect your data stored in services such as Amazon S3. RDS, EBS, and then yeah, EFS. Okay. Second point is saying SSE KMS integrates with AWS KMS to provide enhanced security and control over the encryption keys used to encrypt decrypt your data. So who will be the control, who is going to have the control over this thing? You are be the controller here. Okay. Now let's take a look at the third point. To enable SSE KMS encryption, you have to choose. There are again two options available under SSE KMS. First one is AWS managed keys, then second one is customer managed keys. So now again you might be confused. Okay, again you might be confused. So why there is another one AWS managed keys? Because we just checked, right? AWS S3 it's an AWS managed key. Then why there is another one as well under that KMS AWS managed key? We'll take a look. Okay, what are the difference between these two? We are also going to check. Right here we have a slide where we are discussing the all the features available and what are the differences between SSE S3 managed key, SSE KMS AWS managed key, and SSE KMS customer managed key. But before moving further or discussing about this thing, let's take a look at the AWS KMS. Then after we will come here. So here is my AWS account dashboard, and here right now I am in the S3 dashboard, right? And if you want to look into the KMS, so what you have to do as usual, just type KMS, right? See, here I got landed here, key management service. So what I have to do, and under that you can clearly see AWS managed keys, customer managed keys. Okay, let me open it in another tab. Okay, so this is the dashboard of KMS. This looks something like that, and here you can see create a key. You can create a key by clicking the button below. Okay, and what it says, AWS Key Management Service easily create keys and control encryption across AWS and web. Okay, let's get into to see whether I have any KMS key or not. And important thing, KMS is an region specific resource. It's not an global. Whatever key will be created in Mumbai, that will be available only for Mumbai. Okay, you cannot, that won't be visible to you in other regions. And then you can ask me, okay, if it is regional, then how we are going to integrate that thing with the S3? Because if you are properly aware about the S3, whenever we create S3, we also choose a region, right? Either Mumbai, either North Virginia, or anywhere, right? So if you are going to integrate the key with the bucket, then you have to make sure that the key will be created in the same region. Okay, so here we are in the Mumbai region, AP South 1. Let's get into the AWS managed keys first. See, I have two keys. One is AWS S3 and another one is AWS SNS. If I get into the key, here you can see the few of the details. Here is the name of the key and when it is created on July 15th. Okay, and this is some key process policy which are added under this key, and there is a cryptographic configuration. Do you have anything? Yes, we have symmetric encryption method we are following. What is the purpose of using this key? Encrypt and decrypt, right? I have already told you in symmetric we will be using only one single key, and that same key will be used. That same key will be used to uh, encrypt and decrypt the key. Sorry, decrypt the same data. Okay, this is one of the example of AWS managed key. Right now, since we are discussing about S3, we will focus on this. Forget about this. When we move to simple notifications as a service at time, I will explain this thing as well. And let's get into customer managed keys. Do you have anything? No. If you want to create a key, you can create it from here. Okay. I am not going to create a key right now. I have a lab. After our comparison, I will show you how to create a key. Okay. Again, get back to our slide. Okay, so here is our different slide. Key difference between SSE S3, SSE KMS, AWS managed key, right? AWS managed means the two keys which were available AWS/S3, AWS/SNS in my Mumbai region. That is AWS managed, but those are available in the SSE KMS dashboard, right? And then after AWS KMS customer managed key, and you have observed that in my account I don't have, in the Mumbai region I don't have any customer managed key, okay, which we will be creating very soon. So here comes the slide. Let's take a look. Is it visible, Durga, properly? Or you want me to enhance more?
No, it's visible
Okay.
clearly.
So first feature, you can see there are four columns. First one is feature, then SSE S3, then SSE KMS AWS managed key, then SSE KMS customer managed key. Let's take a look one by one the feature and try to compare them as well. So first feature is encryption key management. Who will be responsible for managing the key? Basically, that's thing it is asking here. So fully managed by AWS S3. Okay, you don't have any control over that key. Then in SSE KMS, AWS managed key, AWS KMS manages the key, but you have some visibility and control. Okay, there you might have like the way I show you, right? But if you remember, I was not able to show you any kind of AWS S3 managed key in my dashboard. But we find out there is AWS KMS, which is AWS managed key available in the dashboard, which is AWS/S3. Okay. But you have some visibility and control. Okay. You create and manage the keys in AWS KMS. This is customer managed key completely owned by you. You are solely responsible for creating the key and managing the KMS. Who will be the key controller? The second feature. Since it is completely managed by AWS, no direct control over keys, right? That makes sense. Then second one is SSE KMS, AWS managed key. Limited control. You are going to have limited control. Why? And what sort of control you are going to have? You can enable and disable that thing, as well as you can view the key ID. What is the ID of that key? You can view that. Okay. Or if you want to disable the enabled key, then you can disable that thing as well. Then last one is customer managed key, fully control over key rotation, policies and permissions. Since it is completely created, you are the generator of that key. You can rotate it, you can add policies or modify the permission. Whatever you want, you can play around your key. Then comes key visibility. No visibility into key details. You cannot get any single metadata about the key. You cannot get anything about regarding that SSE S3 key. Okay. Then limited visibility. Why? How? Since you are able to view or see the key ID, you are having limited visibility there. And then AWS managed key, you have full visibility of key metadata and uses through CloudTrail. Okay, you have full visibility there. Auditing, which key is best for auditing? Basic audit logs through S3 server access logs you can get there. Okay, that's why from very beginning we discussed this is not an ideal approach when it comes to auditing. Okay, detailed audit logs via CloudTrail. If you choose SSE KMS AWS managed key, then you can get a very detailed audit logs via CloudTrail. So CloudTrail is what? CloudTrail is a resource. It's another resource where you can track, or it's a logging resource where basically you can find out all the logs or all the activities happening over your AWS account. Okay, who is trying to access, which resource, what they are performing, everything can be accessed in the CloudTrail. Detailed audit logs via CloudTrail. Okay, in KMS, a customer managed key, you will be able to get detailed audit logs via CloudTrail. Then comes the key rotation. Okay, what is this key rotation thing? This might be coming to your mind. Okay, So key rotation basically we used to perform during a specific duration of time. Why? Because if we thought or if we find out that our key is widely used or like it's been in the same condition for a very long period and might be a chance there someone can attack or might just you can think about like getting new values. Okay, so in that case we will rotate the key. Okay, in S3 automatic with no visibility into the process. In AWS managed, KMS AWS managed automatic trackable through CloudTrail. Through CloudTrail, you can find the details when this key rotated. And in KMS customer managed key, it is completely automatic or manual depending upon your option, whatever you have opted, fully customizable. Okay, if you want, you can rotate it for 15 days or rotate it within 7 days or on daily basis you can rotate it. Okay, whatever you want, you can do that on the customer managed key. Then granular permissions limited to S3 bucket policies, more granular control via KMS key policies and IAM policies. Okay, full granular. Granular means Durga. So here I am trying to explain. If you want to provide precise specific permission to anything or precise permission to any user, that is what sort of label you can choose. In S3 managed key, that is not possible. Okay, you cannot do because that policy you cannot modify. In AWS managed key under KMS, that is little bit granular. But in customer managed key, it is completely whatever you want. Okay, you want to provide someone to only read something, read specific file with a specific name, then you can grant there too. Okay. If you want to someone to grant access to any of the directory or any of the folder, you can grant there too. Okay. So that's why it is saying full granular control via KMS key policies and IAM policies. Compliance point may not be sufficient to strict compliance requirements, right? We have already discussed. Better for compliance due to detailed audit trails. Best for compliance due to full control and auditability of keys, right? Since you are rotating your keys, that means it may make sure that your keys are fresh keys, okay? And it is completely making sure that your keys are secure and highly safe. So it is best for compliance. Okay. Cost. How it is going to charge you. Included in S3 storage cost, the SSE S3. Additional charges for KMS request. Okay. Based upon your request, you are going to be additionally charged since it is managed in a different dashboard. Additional charges for the KMS request and key storage. Okay, why? Because this is your key you are creating under AWS, so definitely AWS is storing this key, so then it will be they will be charging for storing that key. That is a common sense thing, right? Then comes the use cases. Simple encryption needs where you don't need control over keys. Okay. Which are the best scenario cases where you can opt to protect that is the important point, right? Since we have multiple options, we need to find out where we can go with which option. So in use cases, what it is saying, simple encryption needs where you don't need control over key. Okay, if you don't need any control over your key, if you have seen in my examples or in our lab, usually we go with the SSE S3, right? Because I don't have any secure data, we don't follow any compliance, any audit. This is all just small labs we are performing for educational purpose. Then we can use this thing. Okay. Then comes the KMS AWS managed. Balance of ease use and some control suitable for most use cases. Most of time in organization you are going to use this option KMS AWS managed keys. But if at the same time there is few bucket where you are storing some sensitive data, compliance requirements, your customer client base, okay, your any other internal details or application needing fine-grained control, then definitely you have to go with the C customer managed key, okay, KMS, which is and CMK customer managed key in the AWS KMS. Got a whole idea, Durga, over here? What are the use
Ah,
cases?
yes.
Where we use them? I know this is pretty broader view of what we are doing, But you just focus on there are right now three keys available, right? One is SSE, S3
SSC,
managed, another one is
okay,
SSE, KMS, AWS
AMS,
managed. Then second
and
is
customer
AWS
also,
SSE, KMS, but customer
customer
managed. This
management,
is usually we pronounce CMK. Okay,
CMK, okay.
CMK, customer managed keys. A real
Mhm.
time interviewer might ask you, okay, Durga, I know you have a very good idea over the encryption decryption process. You explained me everything in detail. Now tell me, okay, in your organization, okay, which key you usually use out of these all. So keep that in mind. Whenever
Mhm.
someone asks you that kind of question, always go with customer managed keys. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Why? Because this is then after that they will ask you why you use SSE KMS customer managed key, because that on that key we have complete control. We can provide granular level of permission to whom we
Mhm.
need, to whom we ask, okay, and also we have the control over the rotation. That's why we always use CMK. Okay,
And also we can customize also in our keys.
right. We can also
Yes.
customize that thing.
Okay,
So
okay.
that is the key which is usually used in the organization SSE KMS. I'm not saying that this kind of key also not used. Very rarely. Very rare case I have seen people using SSE KMS. But most of the time they will be creating a new key and will be using that one. Okay.
Okay.
Why? Because they want full control over that key. Normal thing.
Mhm.
Okay. Now
Mhm.
let's get into some of the lab. Okay. Here you can see we are having a lab here. Okay. How SSE KMS works. Okay. Now let's first try to understand what exactly happening here. How the SSE KMS will work. That thing it is showing here. So we are having two users, right? You can see there are two IAM users. One is Amit, another one is Rabi. Okay. And there is a S3 bucket where we have some random files or we have something to which we want these people can read. So what we have to do? We have to grant them a read-only policy, right? Let's first perform these steps. Okay. So if you look at the what is the first thing I have to do? I have to create a two user, Amit and Rabi, right? So where can I do that, Durga, in AWS? Where can I create users?
In EC2,
Hello,
yes,
you are
we
not
can
audible. Your voice is very low.
we can create a user in EC2, no?
We can create users in AWS IAM. Okay.
Okay, okay, I am Pali.
IAM is the place where we will be creating always users. Why? Because this is known as identity and access management. Okay.
Mhm.
This
Okay.
thing I know you have not gone through this thing, this resource. Okay. Just for your knowledge, I asked you. Don't worry, I will explain this IAM detail in detail. Okay. Once Chinmay and Somya is back. Okay. So here you can see I am users tab. Okay, let's get into that and try to create. Now you can see I have something around 8 users in my account, but I am going to create two new users as per our practical. Okay, create user will be my first user. Do you want to create users on the name, the whatever defined in the slide, or you want me to create some practical like you Durga and Chinmay? Let's create in your name. Okay, that makes more sense to me. Durga, and I want you to console access. Okay, you can log into your console through website. Custom password. Okay, always use the same password. Cloudmaster@2025. Okay, and then there is an option user must create a new password and next sign in. No, I don't want you to do that. Let me go ahead. Next, I am not going to attach any policy, any permission there. Next, and you can see here is the username is Durga and custom password no, okay, nothing is there. I'm just creating a bare user. Okay, here are the few details for Durga. how he can log in. Okay, this is the URL you are going to use. This is your username and this is your password. Okay, these are the. So Durga, did you have logged in through a laptop? You want to access, or should I do it by my end?
Yes, yes, I logged in my laptop.
Your voice again slow, Durga.
Yes, yes, I have logged in my laptop.
Okay, you want to log in, or should I show you everything here? Let's do it
Uh,
in my
yes,
laptop. Okay.
actually, my account is blocked. Actually, I
Okay, this
want
is
to create a
you are
new
not
account.
going to log into your AWS account. This will be my AWS account, or
Okay,
and you will be logging into my account. Okay, but let me show you first. After onwards, I will share these details with you. Okay,
okay, okay.
so I am going to copy this. I'll open a incognito tab, pasting the URL, copied URL, enter. This is same my AWS account, but here I am logging in as who? I'm logging in as Durga. Okay, and here Durga is a normal IAM user.
Mhm.
Sign in. Now Durga logged in. These are some overviews. And if you see, Durga might not, or you can see there are multiple access denied. Access denied. Why? Because I have not granted any kind of permission to Durga,
Ah, okay.
right?
Just only created URLs,
Yeah,
no?
I only created a
That's
simple user. And
okay, okay.
until unless I don't grant him any permission, he won't be
Any
able to perform
permission?
anything. Let's take a
Yes,
look
yes,
at
yes.
the S3 dashboard first.
Get it, get it.
What is the scenario there? Don't know why it is landing there. Let's switch to Mumbai. Wherever you land in S3, nothing matters because S3 is a global resource. You can view all your resource anywhere. Okay, let's get into and show you. Are you able to see the buckets? See, you are not able to see. What the error is saying? AWS administrator has updated your permission to allow the list all my bucket section. There is nothing like that. That's why you are not able to view the buckets. Okay, now let's go ahead and grant you some permission. But before that, I will create the another user as well. Okay, Durga and Chinmay. Okay, I am going back to create Chinmay now. Create user, name, Chinmay, provide console access. Same pattern. I'll be using my already custom password and I not want you guys to reset the password. Next, not associating any policy. Create user. My user is ready. And here is again the login URL. And this time you can see the username it is showing Chinmay. I am going to log in this user through a Microsoft Edge browser because every time you log in, make sure you are using either different browsers or different places. Don't try to use the same browser because these are sessions running over one. If I try to log into Edge Chinmay here, then it will log me out from my admin account. Okay, so I'll go to this time I'm using Edge. Okay, go into paste there. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes.
I'm logging in Edge Chinmay. I don't think you are able to see my screen. Why? Because
All right. All right.
okay, let me
Sorry,
open
sorry,
in
sir.
another incognito.
Your screen is stuck in the IAM user.
Now see, are you able to see?
Yes, yes. Ah,
Okay.
yes, it's
Here I
visible.
will be logging in Edge Chinmay. Password will be yes, sign in. So in one window, I have logged in as my root account as admin. In another window, which is incognito window. There I logged in as Durga. In another one, I logged in as Chinmay. Get into S3. Same goes with Chinmay as well. Since I have not granted him any permissions, see, he is also not able to view any of the buckets there. And if I go back to my slide again, let's take a look at the slide. See, we have our first objective. We have our Amit and Ravi, right? And now both of these users trying to get into our S3 bucket or trying to view the list of available buckets, they are not able to do. So what we need to do? We need to associate or attach an IAM policy over them. What type of policy we are going to attach? S3 read only policy. Okay. So I'll get into my root account again. Here is my root account. One second. Here is my root account, right? I'll be moving to IAM dashboard. Continue. I am going to associate that policy, read only policy, with those two users. Who are those two users? One is Chinmay, another one is Durga, right? So where can I find policies? Here is a policy section. Okay,
Section.
policies are the one, or policies are those kind of entities which basically grants you permissions to perform any kind of action, whatever listed under that policies. Okay, so right now what we are looking for? We are looking for S3, right? What sort of read only? So you can see there is already S3 read only access policy available, and this is managed by AWS. Basically, we have three types of policy in AWS. One is AWS managed policy, another one is customer managed policy, and third one is inline policy. Inline policy won't be visible here. You can see AWS managed policy, customer managed policy. And this AWS managed job function, it is a specific type of policy applied only to a specific resource. We are not going to discuss about that right now. Okay, so I am going to use AWS managed policy since it is readily available. Okay, what I have to do? I have to select, get into actions, attach. To whom I have to attach this policy? I will be attaching Chinmaya, right? One, and second one is Durga. Okay, I want these two users to have read only permission. So I get into that policy and selected the entities with whom I want to associate or attach them. Now, see, attach policy. Are you clear, Durga? What I did right now?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, if you want to
Yes.
verify, you can get into IAM users tab, then get into your account or your profile. Then, if you go to the permission section, see that policy which from where I attached that one to you. Now you can see it, right? And it is saying
Mhm.
attached directly. And what type of policy? AWS managed.
AWS
If you
manager.
want to expand or see the policy, you can expand it by clicking on this plus sign. What it is saying? The read only allows you all sort of S3 actions which are needed to view the details of a bucket, contents of the bucket, or view the contents or the objects of the bucket. Okay, everything is there.
Okay.
Now let's verify. Since the policy is applied, you are all good. Both of you and Chinmay are good from the permission perspective. Right now, you can see here. Oh, sorry, one second. It logged you out. Why? Because I have logged in another window as Chinmay. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's verify in Chinmay's test. See, it landed me in Chinmay profile. Okay, no issue. Here we will verify. Okay, so in Chinmay, you can see Chinmay is able to now see all the buckets, and I want to show you your profile as well. So what I'll do, I'm going to log you in another browser. Let me get your details. This is Durga. Security credentials. Here is your joining link. Let me reshare my screen. This time I will share the whole window. Stop sharing. I'm resharing the screen, entire screen. Yeah. Now see, I'm going to open the Microsoft Edge. Edge is opened, and in the browser, I'll be pasting your login. Okay. What is your profile name? Durga. I'm providing password. Enter. You are logged in. No need. Now see, you won't be able to see any details except S3. If I get you into EC2, okay, you are seeing my screen, right? Following me, Durga.
Yes, yes.
Here is your profile, right? Durga, this one I
Yes.
created for you. So if I get into EC2, see, everywhere I am getting API error. That means I am not able to access any of the resource there. Why? Because I
Okay,
have
okay.
not given any specific permission on EC2. Where I have granted you permission, I have granted you on S3, right?
S3 bucket only. Okay.
Last time when I show you, you remember, you were not able to list any of the buckets there. But right now, if we
Mhm.
get into the S3 dashboard, see, all the buckets is visible to
So,
you. Even if you want to get into any of the bucket, okay, you can view the files there as well. If you want to open it, you are able to open it. Okay,
okay,
you are able
okay.
to
Mhm.
view this as well. So from reading permission perspective, we are all good. But if you want to upload anything, you won't be able to do that. Why? Because I have not granted you any put permission or any write
Right.
permission, right?
Only read permission you have
Only
given,
read.
na?
If you want to delete this file, na, you go and go to delete.
You can't. Uh,
With this, paste it here. See, it got failed. Why? Because I have not granted you. Here it is saying access
right.
denied. Same goes with Chinmay as well. He can
Okay,
view
okay.
everything, but he cannot delete anything. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's get back to our slide again and see what else we left there. You are seeing the slide, right?
Yes.
So I have two users, one is Durga and another one is Chinmaya, and I have the S3 bucket. I have associated the read-only permission, and now both of you are able to see my bucket there. Now let's implement the encryption. Okay, and for encryption, we are going to use a KMS key, and this time we will be using AWS KMS managed key. Okay, not CMK. I'm not going to create a key now, or if you want, we can create. Okay, let's try to create that one. So first, what I have to do, I have to create a key, right? And to create a key, as a which user can do that as root, right? Where is the KMS? Here is the KMS, right? You are seeing my screen. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you are seeing. Let me refresh. You can see here is my root account. That means this is the same account, but here I have logged in as root. Uh, okay, that's why they know none of any user it is showing me here as logged in as admin. Let's go ahead and create a key. First, we need to create a key, right? Create a key. Now see, I am going through the process how to create a encryption key in the AWS KMS dashboard. Okay, and this is the key. Which type key? This is the CMK, customer managed key I am creating. Okay, first thing it is asking configure key in the first type. What is the key type you want to choose? Definitely, I want to go with symmetry. Why? Because I am going to use this with the S3, and there we are having huge amount of data, and we want to make encryption decryption fast process there. That's why we are
For
going with
low
symmetry,
latency. For
right?
the low
And
latency. Right?
mhm,
For the low latency, we can use the symmetric killer.
your voice is Durga very low. Can you speak louder?
Because of low latency, we can use
Right,
the symmetric
right,
killer.
right. Then what is the purpose of using of this key? Only we want to encrypt and decrypt, right? That is the process,
Yes.
or that is the purpose. That's why. Now let's go and click on next. Okay, what is the name you want to give the display name for the key? We can say demo CMK, right? This is my demo key and this is a customer managed key. Why? Because I am creating this key, right? Description. This is a demo key for my lab. Okay. Tag. No need to add any tag. Next. Okay. See, here it is saying key administrator. Who can manage this key? Who can rotate this key? Who can modify this key? Right? These are the permissions to whom you are going to grant. I am saying no one need to be granted now. I am the admin who is creating this key. I want to be the only one owner of this key. Okay, so I am not going to choose any of the user. But in real time, if you are creating a key and you want your junior to manage that key, then you have to go with as per your junior name will be available there, like DevOps 1, DevOps 2, or Durga. If I want Durga to manage this key, okay, Durga is responsible management of this key, then I can choose Durga. But in my case, I'm not choosing anyone. Why? Because I want complete control as the admin over this key. Okay. Now see, key deletion. Allow key administrator to delete this key. Even though I grant you or I grant any of the normal IAM user to manage this key, I am completely, there is another one option who can delete this key. So if you opt this option, that means only administrator, that means only the account owner can delete this key, other one else cannot do that. Okay. But right now I am holding all things to the admin or account owner. Now next, okay, define key users with whom you want to use this key. As per our slide, if you look at the key, right, key is integrated with the bucket and then key is associated with the user Amit. In our case, Amit is Durga. Okay, so with whom I am going to associate that key? I will be associating that key with Durga. Where is Durga? Here he is. I am not associating that key with Chinmaya. Okay, so I want to show you what will happen if I am not going to associate that with. If we are not providing a someone key, then what will be the outcome? Next, here is the key, right? This is a bare key, or we can say normal key, which is already defined. If you want to edit, you can edit it. If you want to modify, you can modify it. If you want to remove and you want to add specific permissions, you can do that. Right now, I'm not going to do anything here. I'll be going with the default. Okay. Next. So all okay. What is the key name? Demo CM key.
Wasi.
And with whom I have associated this one? With Durga.
Okay.
I did not associated with Chinmay. And here is the
Okay.
key policy. Right. Now let's
Mhm.
finish. Okay. Our key is created. And this is an customer managed key. Why? Because this key created by me for my own use purpose. Right.
Uh-huh.
This is the key ID. Status is enabled. And this is symmetric type key. Right.
Okay.
Okay, now what we have to do? We have to use this key. Okay, now let me show you. If I go to the profile, here we have logged in incognito as Chinmay. Now Chinmay is able to list all the buckets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he is also able to get into any of the bucket. Let's assume bucket policy 01, and he is also able to view this file too, right? If I go and open, he can view this file, right? It's good from all permission perspective. And cancel now here. This is which bucket policy 01. And if I move to Durga, refresh, and Durga is also able to view the file too.
right? Keep that in mind. We only created that policy. We have not, sorry, that key. We have not associated that key with any of the bucket yet, but only associated that with Durga, right? So now let me associate that key with any of the bucket. Okay, which bucket we are targeting for our lab? We are targeting bucket policy 01. I will go and get into the properties where I can associate or attach the available key in the properties tab. Scroll down, there is default encryption. You need to select edit. Then go for the what type of key we want to associate, that is server side encryption KMS, right? Select that one. Now see what it is saying. Okay, do you have any key? Okay, if you have any key, then enter the AWS KMS key error. Enter it here. Otherwise, choose KMS from AWS KMS keys. If you have any created key in the AWS KMS dashboard, then choose it from here. Okay, see what it is saying, access denied. Why? Because I am trying to attach or associate that as Durga, and Durga don't have permission to do that. Then who can do that? The root user will be doing that. That means the admin. Now let's again get back to our admin logged in space, and I will go to the S3 dashboard, refresh. What is the bucket? We were trying bucket policy 01, right? I'll go to the properties, go to default encryption, edit, okay, server side encryption, then choose key for there, and see now my key will be visible here. What is my key? See demo CMK, right? That is the key name which we created just right now. I am going to select that one. Did you able to see the name here? Demo CMK.
Yes.
Just look at my pointer.
Demoscene.
Demo CMK is
Yes.
there. I have selected that key, and I
Mhm.
am going to save changes. So once I attach that key, that means right now I changed my default key to the demo CMK, which is a customer managed key. And that key is only attached to Durga, right? So
Yes.
let's first take a look at Durga's access. What sort of uh, access Durga right now have? If I look into bucket policy, let's first look at the buckets. Okay, you are able to view all the buckets there. Okay, right? Since you have read-only permission on all the buckets, you are good there. You can get into any of the bucket. You can view the details there too. See, you are able to view these all things too. Why? Because I granted you read-only first, right? The IAM policy which I attached with you read-only. So you are able to view that thing. But where we did the changes now? We did the changes over bucket policy 01, the first bucket. And there, if you go to the properties section, that is the new key which I associated. Now let's take a look. Are you able to view the objects or the files within this bucket? I'll go to the same object, open. See, you are able to view the same file. But what about Chinmay? Now let's take a look at his access. Chinmay is there, bucket policy, refresh, open that file and try to open it. So again, refresh from at the end, open 3, bucket policy SCL, Okay, I think the caching is working here. Let me clear it. Or let me re-log in. Okay, I will be re-logging in. Chinmay, I think it is not working as expected because of the caching. So what I'll do, I'll sign in again. Chinmay, password is this. Sign in. Go to S3. Go to the newly key encrypted bucket. SL01. Open that file. Okay, I got the issue. Why it was not happening? I get into the open. Okay, why still now, even though I have not granted the key, can you, Durga, do you have any idea? Even though I have not granted the key, still sorry, Chinmay is able to view the file. Why? Because this file was uploaded into this bucket previously before applying the key, right? So if you
Okay.
look at the object management, na, see,
Mhm.
there is which encryption is still available? The previous key, which we
Yes.
removed and attached our new key. That's why Chinmay is able to read it. We need to modify this as well. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Uh-huh.
So in what we can say, second, choose KMS drop down. Okay. This thing we need to do from the admin account
That
as
is
well.
that version. Yeah.
Okay, let's do one thing. Instead of associating this, updating this policy, na, I'll try to upload a new object into the bucket. Okay, let's upload something new. If I am going to upload the new object, na, then that object will be having the new key. Okay, okay, let's upload this one. Open. This is in PDF file. I'll be uploading. And if you look at the properties, na, which type of encryption it is right now choosing? It will be server side encryption. Okay, it will be choosing the one which we have enabled on our S3. Upload. Upload succeed. Now you can see here is the server side encryption. Let's take a look at Chinmay's access now. Bucket policy 01. Here is our new file. Click on it and try to open. See, did you see the outcome? Here it is saying
Yes.
Chinmay is not authorized to perform. Even though I have granted him all read-only access that every file he can view, since he don't have the key, he was not able to perform that action. What it is saying? KMS decrypt is not available near Chinmay. Why?
Mhm.
Because we have not attached that key to the Chinmay. But at the same time, if we visit Durga's dashboard, bucket policy 01, and see the new file is here. And if you get into that and try to open it, it is clearly visible to Durga, right?
Okay.
This is clearly visible to Durga,
Mhm.
right? Why? Because I have provided the key to you so that you are using that key to decrypt the file, right?
Okay.
Since we don't, I don't have granted that key. But now you can ask me, okay, sir, so you said the new objects are using the new key. So what about the previous objects? Yes, previous objects can't use that new key. You have to modify them manually. So what you can do, you can log into your root account and get into the file and go to the properties. There is this one, edit, go to the encryption, choose from AWS available keys. Here is demo CMK. Now save changes. Once you save that one, then see again Chinmay won't be also able to see that file too. What is that file? This one, right? We just modified now. So get into open. See again he got the issue. Why? Because we encrypted with a new key which is not available near Chinmay. So this is the level of security we grant, okay? And this is the thing is going to happen when you don't provide anyone the key. So if someone by any chance stole your file or able to download that one, so if you have not granted them the decryption key, they won't be able to view the content of your file. Okay, that's why it is very important from security perspective. Okay, so Durga, you got it or any doubt there?
Yes, yes, got it.
Now see, this is the outcome, right? Even though I granted I am read-only policy to Chinmay, but I did not associate or attach that key to Chinmay and I attach that key to you, Durga, right? You are able to view the file, but Chinmay was not able to read anything, right?
Okay.
Okay, now let's take a look few of the key features or few of the key elements, whatever available there. First, what are the key features? Enhanced security. SSE KMS provides a higher level of security by utilizing CMKs stored in KMS. Right? Why? Because it is storing the files in the KMS. That's why it is creating a higher level of security for your keys. It ensures that encryption keys are never exposed in plain text outside of KMS. Since we are visiting or you are authorized to see those keys, that's why it is available to you. Otherwise, you won't be able to see or view any key there. One second. Okay, we will wrap it soon. Audit and compliance from point of view, SSE KMS allows you to maintain detailed audit logs of all key uses through AWS CloudTrail. Already discussed this point. This helps in meeting regulatory and compliance requirements by providing visibility into key management activities. Okay, compliance and regulatory perspective point of view, you are good with the CMK, customer managed key. Access control, definitely you are the owner, you have complete control over your key. You can define granular access control for the CMK, specifying which IAM users or roles have permissions to use the keys for encryption and decryption. Okay, this ensures that only the thing we did right now. So when I attach that key with you, you are able to decrypt that. Since I did not attach that with Chinmay was not able to decrypt that. Okay, this ensures that only authorized users and applications can access the encrypted data. Okay, automatic key rotation, there is a feature available. You can enable automatic key rotation for your CMKs, ensuring that keys are rotated periodically to adhere to best security practices. Okay, you can enable that thing. It is an automated process available, or manually you can do it. So what is the pricing? Let's take a look. KMS pricing component. What are the key factors? Depends on your pricing. Key creation and storage. Right now I created a key and storage were under KMS, so it is a factor for charging me some price. Automatic key rotation. Okay, if I am going to enable the automatic key rotation, definitely again it is going to charge. Why? Because I'm not doing, I am completely depending upon, or I am giving the responsibility, or I am asking AWS to do it for me. Key usage cost. Okay, how many people or how many places I am going to use that key, that is also another factor of for the cost. Data transfer, if cross region, if it is a cross region replication or cross region thing where we are trying to transfer our data from one region to another region, then in that case we are using the encryption and decryption key. Okay, there again it is going to charge little bit higher. Our last point is cloud trail login. Okay, I have already told you it is very much easy for us to track the things when we are going to use with the customer managed key, CMK. Okay, so through CloudTrail dashboard, we can manage that thing. Okay, with that said, SSE-CMK is done. The last one is we left dual layer server side encryption with AWS KMS. Okay, that thing we will be discussing in our next class. I think, okay, we have two more. Okay, but if you look at the dashboard, there will be the only three visible. The last one you usually not visible in the console. You can implement through the CLI only. Okay, but the most recommended and highly used option is CMK. Okay, AWS CMK, customer managed keys, the one which I just show you. Okay, so any doubt, Durga, till now? If you have, you can ask me, or
No,
any confusion.
no, no confusion. It's okay.
Okay, so let me stop the recording for today, and the other things we will discuss in our next class. Okay.